Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up? What's up? This is your man That's the Great checking in once again. Let's get straight to it. It is Sunday afternoon. Beautiful day in Jacksonville. I hope y'all having a good day. Um, I just wanted to hop online, man. Let's talk about let's talk about something that's a huge double standard in society these days. And I think it's worth talking about. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I completely understand that I am also speaking from a position of privilege, um, and being able to actually assess this and actually know this for a fact. But in society, men get a really bad rap. Men get a really bad rap as far as being able to handle rejection, especially pertaining to when they're approaching a woman or they find a woman who they consider to be attractive, and they go in for that initial approach. And women like to vilify and they like to antagonize men, and they like to say that, oh, men don't know how to just simply handle rejection, don't know how to just take a no and keep it moving. They always say that, for instance, when a woman, even when she initially brushes a man off politely, that all right, let me give you a scenario. So let's say a man goes and talks to a woman and she says, oh no, I'm not interested. A lot of times, and I've seen this happen, so I'm not going to say that there's no actual, I'm not saying there's no credence that I would give to it, but what happens is a lot of times I've noticed that sometimes women are extremely negative towards men, and then even in those particular interactions, the man would sometimes be extremely disrespectful when she brushes him off, even when she's polite, or if she's a little bit more antagonistic. What I've noticed is that sometimes a woman will turn a man down, and obviously, yes, the man will sometimes get offended by it, and then he'll curse at her, say, oh, bitch, you ain't shit anyway, fuck you, you're fat anyway, this, that, and the third. To which obviously your initial your initial question would be, well, if the woman was all of that, then why were you trying to holler in the first place? That's always my train of thought when that occurs. However, that doesn't give the man any excuse for responding that way. Even if the woman was extremely rude, just as a man, we're expected to be able to just take certain things on the chin and just keep it moving. That's what we're taught as men. We're supposed to be able to just keep it moving regardless how the woman conducts herself. It's all good, right? Even though that's bullshit, and we all know that that's bullshit. But let's talk about women, because men always get an extremely bad rap, guys. We always get antagonized. We always get villainized, saying that we don't know how to handle rejection. Oh, well, a man should just take it and just move on. But what's never talked about is the fact that women are far worse. I mean, far worse at being able to handle rejection than men. Yo, what's going on, fellas? What's going on? What's you said, where am I? I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida. That's where I'm located, man. Anyways, I just want to talk about what happened last night, and this is like a regular occurrence, unfortunately, and it's worth talking about, guys. So, and I understand that to an extent, I am speaking from a position of privilege to an extent. Whenever I go out, I don't have any trouble whatsoever as far as attracting women, and for the most part, I've gotten to the level of privilege where I don't really have to approach them. For the most part, they will come up to me, regardless if I'm at a bar, at a lounge, wherever. Generally speaking, I just wait for the whoever's giving me the most choosing signals, and I just go for that approach, which is in itself a position of privilege. Not all men have it that way. Not all men have that experience where you go out to a bar and a lot of attractive women are actually looking at you as prey, instead of the other way around, where you actually had to go out there and constantly hunt for women. So when I'm talking about rejection in specifics to this particular conversation, I'm talking about my personal experience. Now, if you guys can also relate, please let me know. But at the bar last night, I'm sitting there. I just got there, and I haven't even ordered a drink from the bartender yet. And this young lady comes up next to me, attractive girl, and she stands there. I don't really think anything of it. I'm just, just focused on what I'm doing. But I noticed that she's kind of just lingering there. She's not really ordering a drink, but she's just lingering there, right? So I said, okay, well, this could be interesting. So I just go on about my business, and then maybe another, I would say perhaps another 5 minutes go by, and then she leans over to me and she says, "Would you mind if I grab this seat right here?" I'm like, "No, go ahead, knock yourself out." And then just from that point, I was able to confirm, obviously, she's here for a reason. So let me give her what she's looking for. So that's at that point, I'm saying, "Yeah, how's your evening going? This, that, and the third." We spark up a conversation from that point. But even though I'm just keeping it light, I'm just being cordial. As a man, just being cordial. You're sitting next to me. I'm not gonna be weird. Like, let's have conversation. But I wasn't really interested in her, so to speak, right? So I think she could tell, because that's the thing. And even men, we're gonna get blamed regardless. But I tried to keep it surface level in a way that we're having a conversation, but I don't want her to get the inclination that I was actually interested in her. So I kept it real short answers to questions she would ask, just entertain the conversation, but also hopefully giving off a clear hint that I'm not really interested in you like that. Even though she was an attractive girl, but I don't know, man. I've gotten so jaded when it comes to women now. I've gotten so damn jaded that just because a woman's attractive, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be interested in smashing her or seeing where it's going to go. And honestly, this is a problem that I'm constantly trying to reconcile, guys. I don't know. It's just like when you, how would I put it? When you've dealt with so many women in your lifetime, when you've been around so many different ethnicities and so many different kinds of energies, just that physical appearance, it more so over time, the more women you deal with, that initial, I don't know, that initial dopamine hit that it gives you from being able to attract a certain woman or even engage in conversation and get to know a woman, it just goes down. It diminishes as time goes on. The more women you deal with, at least that's my personal experience. So I've become jaded. Just because a woman looks good doesn't mean I'm even gonna have any interest in even so much as getting her fucking number. That's just the way that I personally operate, and that's one of those realities and one of the luxuries that comes along with being an attractive man. Being able to pick and choose with who you want to deal with. But anyways, getting back to the story. So I'm sitting here and we're engaged in conversation. And then, her friends, I guess they're about to go to a different place. So they're about to leave. She's like, "Oh, well, okay, well, I'm about to leave." She's like, would you like to get my number? And I was like, I mean, I enjoy the conversation, but no, thank you. I'm good. I don't really want your number. And it's in this moment where I can see her entire disposition change. Her that smile wiped away. That smile initially it just went away. And then I could see the demon coming out, bro. Like it's like it was like just the concept of a man turning her down. It made her short circuit. It completely discombobulated her brain. She's like, "What?" She's like, "You don't want my number?" I was like, No, it's nothing against you. You're an attractive girl. I just I don't really feel any kind of chemistry here, this, that, and the third. She's like, "Oh, really?" She's like, Are you gay? Are you gay? That's out of that sign language rule book that women use. If you can't actually rebut, or if you have and you don't actually have any kind of refutable rebuttal for a man not acquiescing to your desires, immediately, for some reason, that man has to be gay. Why is it that anytime a man turns a woman down, for whatever reason, he has to be gay? That was straight out of the sign language rule book when she said that, right? So I turned her down, told him, "No, I'm not interested in your number. You're attractive, but I'm just not really feeling you like that." So I feel like that's a very valid explanation. Not that I even had to give you an explanation on why I don't want your number, but even still, I gave you an explanation nonetheless, and somehow that was not sufficient, because she's asking me, "Oh, you don't want my number? Are you gay? Oh, you don't like women, or this, that, and the third?" This more, but this is even funnier. If you can't handle a bad bitch, just say that. That's their go-to. That's their go-to, fellas. When you turn a bitch down, well, if you can't handle a bad bitch, just say that. No, bitch, I'm just not interested in you. What are we talking about? Don't generalize the entire field, but just because I had no interest in getting your number. Like, they always say that men need to be able to just take it on the chin and just go on, right? We're supposed to just be able to take it on the chin, regardless of what a woman says to us. Well, if we get rejected, just move on. There's so many other fish in the sea, right? But women don't actually take that same advice. And they're not used to being turned down by a man because, unfortunately, we live in a society where so many men have become simps and so many men constantly pedestalize women. You know, unfortunately, due to the fact that men constantly pedestalize women on a consistent basis, and they're constantly, some men are further perpetuating this completely, I don't even know what you would call it. I would say it's more so a Disney fairy tale of every single little girl being told by society, every single one from the point of infancy going on, that the world revolves around them, and that every single man is supposed to pedestalize you, even when you have actually given him nothing to actually respect you for. And yet somehow every single woman expects modern men to just lay down and just pedestalize them. And that's where the mindset comes from that creates this entitlement, where a woman feels like she is absolutely being disrespected just by the mere thought of a man rejecting her. Because clearly, if she talks to the man, just her coming up to talk to me, I guess she felt that she was doing me as the man a favor. Women think that somehow by them being in your presence, they're giving you some kind of great prize or some kind of huge acclaim in your life by them talking to you, especially if they come and approach you like the young lady did at the bar last night when she came up and talked to me. So I guess she feels like, okay, I'm a good looking woman. He's a good looking guy. I'm going to go talk to him. I see him. And it's just supposed to be like academic. It's just supposed to be understood that I'm supposed to want her, right? No, it's just not like that. That's just not life. That's just not life. The more work you've done in yourself as a man, and building yourself, the less impressed you are by a simple pretty face or a nice body. That's just not how life works for a man like me. And she had to figure that out the hard way. But what I'm tired of is the fact that every time, well, not every time, some women are good sports. Some women know how to take good rejection in stride. They really do. Some do. Most don't. Some do. But, you know, last night when I had to reject that one young lady, and her initial rebuttal is, oh, you must be gay. So let me get it straight. Just because I'm not interested in you, my sexuality must be attacked. Okay, that makes perfect sense. That's logical, right? That makes perfect sense. No, what's far more logical, and what the truth is that I'm simply not interested in you in that way. I'm very much a straight heterosexual man, straight as Indian hair, as they used to say. I'm straight as Indian hair. But the thing is, I've built myself into a man of value. I've done all of the hard, painstaking work time and time again to constantly leveling up, to constantly keep leveling up, should I say, and reaching the next level. So I don't have to just go for any and every woman that happens to come across my path or whoever's attractive in my vicinity. No, not only can I have that attractive woman that comes up to me, but I can also have the luxury of just scanning the entire field, because any room that I step into, I absolutely have the belief in my mind that I can get any woman that I want, because I've done that time and time again. That comes with the mindset, that comes with the confidence as a man. That comes with knowing that you've done that self-development as well, being able to have that mindset that any room that you step into, when it comes to an aesthetic standpoint, when it comes to how I look, when it comes to how I dress, how I smell, how I carry myself, and how I'm able to articulate, you know, my sentences, the way that I speak to women, those interpersonal skills, I've done all the work as a man. So that's what gives me that confidence in any room that I step into, that any woman that I want, I can have her just like that. Now, of course, there are always variables, but one thing that you can keep constant is your mindset as a man. That should never change. Your belief in yourself, your mindset should never change, regardless of what room you're in, regardless of how many beautiful, attractive women there are in there. That should never change as far as your mindset or your self-concept about who you are and what you're capable of. And I have a sky-high self-concept of who I am and what I am capable of. Simple as that. That's where every man needs to get from a mental standpoint. But you can only get there after you've done that work on yourself. And that is a fact. So just getting back to this young lady who once again decided to insult my sexuality just by the mere fact that I was not interested in taking things further with her. That is just a microcosm of how so many modern women are in society these days. Unfortunately, we live in a society where every single woman feels entitled to your attention, to your validation, and to your respect, and to your chivalry. They're entitled to it all. Yet so many, or should I say so few of them, actually bring anything substantive to the table that would actually warrant that. You know, that's just where we are in society, unfortunately. It's ugly. It's an ugly game, but it is what it is, man. It truly is what it is. And what I've come to find is that a lot of women have not actually, well, I don't know. Yeah. All right. A lot of women have never had to actually deal with rejection before, because in a scenario such as the one that I just described, if they go and approach a man at a bar or at a lounge, or even if they're out and about somewhere and they go up to a man, they think that in consent is already implied. It's already implied consent. Just by me going up to this man, I should feel completely guaranteed that he's already going to be interested in me, because that's just the way that most women operate in society. So many men are constantly being simps and simping out and just kissing their ass. They're going to just believe that every man's going to want them, especially if they're an attractive woman, such as the young lady last night. So just by the mere idea of you not being interested in reciprocating how she feels about you, she's going to feel jilted and disrespected in that, because she's already so entitled to your attention and validation. The fact that I'm coming up and talking to this man, he should feel lucky because I'm the woman and I'm coming up to him instead of the other way around. So he should feel lucky or fortunate that I'm making it easy for him. Well, guess what? There's some of us men in society who are used to women making it easy for us. When you're a good-looking guy with muscles, great $1 million smile, you dress nice and you smell even nicer, women come up to you all the time. Women come up to me all the damn time. I've grown accustomed to this. And like I said, I understand that I am talking from a position of privilege in this aspect. Not every man has this experience. Not every man can be able to say the things that I'm saying and actually be speaking facts from their actual life. But when you are a man who is attractive and you attract a lot of women, the last thing you're worried about is losing one. Even though it's not a loss in this scenario, because obviously I wasn't interested in her in that way. But the last thing you're worried about is one woman, is my point. You have an abundance mindset. The more women that you attract, the more of an abundance mindset you continue to develop. When one comes, another goes. If another 2 or 3, you kick them off your damn roster, off your team, another 3 or 4 bitches come within the next day or two. Within the next day or two, another 2 or 3 are be coming in. It's just like buses. That's what a lot of women are in modern society. It's just like buses. One's going, one's coming. It doesn't matter. If you have an abundance mindset, you can continue to rinse and repeat time and time again. So what do I care about an attractive girl coming up and talk to me if I'm not actually interested in her as well? Okay. So she wanted to insult me for rejecting her. That's just what it is. And all I could do was laugh. When she said, you don't want my number? Well, are you gay? Well, what is it? I'm like, I'm just not feeling you like that. It's that simple, shorty. Like, what more do we have to talk about? There's no need for us to even have an argument. Damn, like, us as men, we just have to take this shit and keep it moving. So, bitch, you do the same. Act accordingly. I was not interested in you. Just take it and keep it moving, baby. we don't have to go back and forth and get into it about this. Like, it's just not, certain things are just not even worth the energy. And then that scenario, that woman was simply not worth the energy. And unfortunately, there's so many women in society that operate with that same limited, narrow-minded mindset, that every single man that they go up and approach, that man is automatically going to also have reciprocal feelings and also want to talk to them. No, I will entertain your conversation, but when it's time for us to get down to the nuts and bolts of it, I'm not going to get your number. I'm not going to get your IG, none of that, because I'm not actually interested in you. And I'm not hurting for women. I'm not thirsty for women. Women come easily. So just by you merely coming up to talk to me does not mean that I'm just going to naturally just take your number just because. I would never use it. What's the point of having it? Uh, oh, but that was just my night, man. That was just my night. Craziness, absolute craziness. And this is once again, this is the modern woman that so many of us men have to deal with in society. This is the modern woman. This is their mindset. This is the way they operate. They're entitled to your validation and to your attention. And if they can't get that from you, then they're going to resort to sign language. They're going to resort to, shaming. What was that? They're going to resort to shaming, insults, guilting you, and they always have the need to be right. That's what sign language stands for, in case you guys don't know. Shaming, insults, guilting, and the need to be right. And that's what modern women resort to when they have no legit or valid rebuttal to something that you're telling them or some information that you're giving them. They're always going to try to resort to ad hominem attacks. They're going to attack the person and not the actual argument or the actual substance that you are conveying to them. They're going to shame you. They're going to insult you. They're going to try to make you feel guilty, or they're going to always have the need to somehow be right in the argument. Can't even entertain that bullshit. So when the bitch last night was trying to shame me for rejecting her, all I could do was laugh and say, God bless you. Have a nice night, baby. Have a nice night. And that makes them even madder when you don't actually fall into the trap of going back and forth. God bless you, baby. Anyways, that was my night, man. That was my night. I just wanted to hop on live right quick and tell that story, man. Anyways, man, I appreciate y'all watching. Stay focused, stay sharp, stay dangerous. Jermaine, that's great. I'll holla. Peace.